In the last couple of homeworks, you've been working with solving for x, and x has been in different places. So our easy example is if I say 3x plus 2 is equal to 8. 3x plus 2 is equal to 8. I want you guys to, right now in the poll, tell me which one do we get rid of first, the 3 or the 2? Remember which one is farthest away? 20-second poll. Great, a lot of you guys did a good job. 20 seconds is almost up. Thank you. So most of you guys actually said we get rid of the 2. And looking at this problem, we say, well, if I am solving for x, that means I need to get rid of the numbers 2 and 3. But which one do I do first? And I gave you guys a story of kicking people out of your room. So if you want me to kick someone out of my room, don't kick the person right next to me. They're really close. I'm going to get rid of the farthest person. So I'm going to minus 2 to both sides. And that's a nice, clean subtraction. Okay, so we end up with 3x plus 8. And let's turn it. 3x equals to 8. And now, hey, I can get rid of the 3 really easily now. That's now just a one-step equation. Oops, what am I doing? Sorry, I forgot to subtract here. I do too many things at once. And 6 divided by 3 is 2. Sorry about that. Okay, we can double check. 3 times 2 plus 2, does that equal to 8? 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8, and that's true. Now, we ended up doing more problems when it came to variables on both sides. So if we end up with something like 3x plus 5 is equal to 4x minus 6. So the trick for this one was, if I have x on both sides, we need to combine the x's. Now you have a couple of choices. One, either move all the x's to the side where there's less things going on, right? A cleaner side, or which side has more x's? Does a positive 3x have more x's, or does a positive 4x has more x's? In this case, you can see that the 4 is bigger. So the reason why we want to do this is because when I move stuff to the bigger side, we don't end up with a negative x. 5 is equal to 4 minus 3 is 1. Now, on the side here, I want to show you guys what happens if I don't follow that simple rule. And again, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world, but it does make the problem slightly harder. Now, I'm going to do the same problem here on the right. If I write 3x plus 5 is equal to 4x minus 6. If I minus 4 to both sides, we end up with a negative x plus 5 is equal to negative 6. And then we have to deal with that negative x. And sometimes people make simple mistakes. Our goal is to make this as easy as possible so we don't make simple mistakes. So am I going to say this is wrong? No, this is also okay, but not as easy. Over here, x is nice and positive, so I don't have to worry about that negative sign. Next move, let's get rid of the 6. 5 plus 6 is 11 is equal to x. And no, 11 doesn't look like an answer that would work, that would make this true. But when we double check, 3 times 11 plus 5, does this equal to 4 times 11 minus 6? That's 33. Plus 5 is 38. And that's 44 minus 6. Turns out this is also 38. And I would never have guessed 11. I could guess all day long and probably never got 11. So the thing about algebra is we can see problems in many different ways, in many situations, and our goal is to come up with an appropriate response. What tactic, what will I do to make sure I know how to solve this the easiest way possible? Easiest way possible. Sorry, Zoom is acting up for some people. They can't get on. It was sending me to a different room also. So if you guys can't get on, sorry about that. We just need to keep trying. Okay, here's another problem. Negative 2y plus 1 plus 3 is equal to 17. So same question here. Would I get rid of the 2 or the 3 first? And in this question here, I'm going to have you guys do something a little different. There's actually multiple ways of solving this one. But I think one of the easiest ways is to think of this as I'm trying to solve for y. What number is farthest away from y? The 1, the 2, or the 3? Okay, the 1, the 2, or the 3. Here's a poll. Tell me which one is farthest away from y? The 1, the 2, or the 3? Okay, so most of you guys said, share the results. Most of you guys said it was the 3. So let's try it. If I get rid of the 3, let me ask you, would this be easy or not if I just minus 3 to both sides? Yeah, it would be negative 2, y plus 1 is equal to 14. Now, what is the negative 2 doing to the parentheses? Is that adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? Adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? It's multiplying. So opposite of multiply, thank you, Rocio. Opposite of multiply is divide. So I'm going to divide negative 2 to both sides. What's a negative divided by negative? That becomes a positive, and that cancels out. And we're left with y plus 1 is equal to negative 7. So there are strategies here that can make this problem harder or easier depending from our experience. We just have to keep working and trying different ways. Now, this is one way to solve it. We're almost done. That's minus 1 to both sides. Y is equal to negative 8. But instead, we could have done this by distributive property. We could have said negative 2, y plus 1, plus 3 is equal to 17. I want you guys right now, in your notebook, go ahead and distribute the negative 2 to the front and back. So when I distribute the negative 2, you should end up with negative 2y minus 2. Okay, just to repeat y. 2 times 1y is 2y, and 2 times 1 is 2, both being negative. Now here, we could combine, what is 3 minus 2? 3 minus 2 is 1. Now this leads us back to a two-step problem. Back to a two-step problem. Minus 1 to both sides. We're left with negative 2y equals, sorry, not negative, 16. And y divided by 2 to both sides. Y is equal to negative 8. So I want you guys to answer this question for me. Think about it yourself. Which of these two methods do you think would be easier for you? If we just start peeling the onion, or getting rid of the parentheses first. Okay? So I want you guys to go in the participants and write yes if you think this is easier for you, or no if you think distribution is easier for you. So in the participants window, go ahead and click yes or no, so I can kind of get an idea which one do you think is easier for you. Great. So I see a lot of responsive, it's close to, it's a little bit more for the distribution side, right? And I think you're right. It is kind of easy. It's almost like opening up all your boxes at Christmas and then sorting everything afterwards. Some of you guys have to open each toy one by one, play with it before you get to the next toy. And that's like here, open one by one by one, versus open everything and then sort it and then solve. Great, so the class is about 50-50, I would say. Now, a lot of people came up with yeses thinking the first one was easier. Now, is there a wrong way? No, as long as you follow the order of operations and doing inverse operations, both of these are actually 100% okay. Now, let's go through another problem. This other problem looks like this. If I say s minus 13 over 3 is equal to 2, okay? There is no parentheses in this problem. There's no parentheses in this problem. So my question for you here is, do we get rid of the 13 or the 3 first? Now, I'm going to draw this in kind of like a matrix way. Does you ever see the matrix? S minus 13 over 3 is equal to 2. I want to ask you this question instead. If I am S, this is me, do I talk to the 13 first or the 3 first? Do I talk to the 13 first or the 3 first? I would talk to the 13 first, because order of operations does a group first. So I would say do this first, then followed by the 3. Thank you, the 13, that's right. So if we're working backwards to undo everything, we want to get rid of the 3 first, because it's farthest away. It's my last thing I was going to do. So what is the opposite of divide by 3? Opposite of divide by 3 is multiply both sides by 3. And in your notes, please start practicing writing a parentheses when you're multiplying. If I just wrote a 3 next to it, it becomes kind of confusing. So a parentheses reminds you that this is multiply. What is 3 divided by 3? Since they're opposite operations, they cancel out. This becomes s minus 13 is equal to 6. Now the opposite of subtraction is addition, adding 13 to both sides. We're left with s is equal to 19. 19 looks like a huge number, but would this have been true? Is 19 minus 13 over 3, would this equal to 2? 19 minus 13 is 6, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. That was the number we were hoping for. S is 19. So to follow up, I want you guys to look at a problem very similar to this again. I'm going to write x minus 3 over 2 is equal to 8. Okay. Please tell me, which of these numbers would you get rid of first, the 3 or the 2? Which numbers would you get rid of first, the 3 or the 2? From our previous example, which one would we get rid of first? I should include a I don't know button here too. So I should do. Okay, 20-second poll, thank you. Share results. Many of you guys did say 2, but some of you guys are still saying the 3. Now, I would like you guys to try to see it in this light. Again, if I was X, this is me, would I talk to the 3 first or the 2 first? 3 first or 2 first? So I am closer to the 3 because I'll calculate the 3 first, and the 2 is farthest away. So to solve for this problem, we want to get rid of what's farthest away, and what's farthest away is the 2. So you guys have to practice that. Make sure you get that straight in your brain. If I multiply 2 to both sides, the fraction cancels out, and we're left with x minus 3 is equal to 16, and then we could plus 3 to both sides. Now, hopefully you guys are seeing a little better which number to get rid of first, because I'm going to spin this around and give you guys another one that looks very similar, but it's different. Let's do x over 2 minus 1 is equal to 3. Now for this example here, I want you guys to tell me which one is closer to x, the 2 or the 1. Please hit yes for 2 and no for 1. Which of these is closer to x? Which one is closer to x? Closer to x. You can change your answer. Which one is closer to x? So in order of operations, do we divide first or do we subtract first? If this was me, would I talk to the 2 first or would I talk to the 1 first? Okay, I'm getting mostly yeses. Thank you very much. So remember, if I plug in a number, let's go ahead and use this on the side. If I say 5, it's not 5, sorry. Say 10 divided by 2 minus 1. Would you minus 1 first or would you divide by 2 first? I would divide by 2 because order of operations. So to spin this around, when we're solving it, we're going in backwards order. So which one is not closest, but which one is farthest away? Which one would be the easiest to give up? Think about your toys when you were a kid. You had toys that were really close to you and toys that you were meh, it's just there. So which one would you donate first? You would donate the toys that didn't mean as much to you. X over 2 is equal to 4. Now, man, I got rid of all the toys I don't want. Now I got to get rid of the toys that I did want. Then we multiply by 2 to both sides. So these two problems, though they look the same because they both have a fraction, the order is different. The order is different. For the problem, let me simplify this a little bit. For these two problems, they look very similar, but again, the order would be different. Now, let's look at the problem on the left. See how x minus 3 is all over 2, all divided by 2? Over here, only x is being divided by 2. So ask yourself, which one is closer? Here, on my left, x minus 3 divided by 2. What's closer, what we do first is the minus 3, so we can get rid of the 2. What is closer on my right? Well, the divide by 2 is closer, so we can get rid of the 1. Okay. Hopefully, this is a little more helpful. It's a little more clarifying. Okay. Let's do some other examples here. We have problems with a bunch of x's everywhere, so I want to make sure we can do those problems. So what if I write 4x plus 3 times 2x plus 1 is equal to, let's say, making this up, let's say it's going to be 21. Making that up. Okay, so identify for me, what are we trying to solve? What variable are we trying to solve for? Trying to solve for x. Now, since we have more than one x, we want to make sure we combine those x's together. So for this problem, we're going to have to get rid of the parentheses, like what you guys said before, what you guys like to do. Let's go ahead and get rid of the parentheses, and then we'll reevaluate what to do. Now, just as a reminder, how do I distribute this 3? It's 3 times 2 is 6x, and 3 times 1 is 3. My example before was a Lunchable. You remember Lunchables? We said we had some like 2 pepperoni, we have like 1 piece of cheese, and then we have like 2 juice boxes. Oh, we got 1 juice box. So if I bought 3 Lunchables, if I bought 3 Lunchables, we would have 6 pieces of pepperoni, we would have 3 pieces of cheese, and we would have 3 juice boxes. Equals to 21. Now that we distributed, got rid of the parentheses, we have like terms. 4x plus 6x, that gives us our 10x that we wanted. We can minus 3 to both sides. 10x is equal to 18. And then last step, opposite multiply is divide. 18 over 10. Can we divide both 18 and 10 by a common number? Can we reduce that? 18 is 9 times 2, and 10 is 5 times 2. Hey, we can reduce them both by 2. That's 9 over 5. Thank you. Okay,